You know, comedy often reveals truth. And last night, Jimmy Kimmel, he ripped the shroud of stupidity off the GOP wordplay deflection game regarding their national security breach behind the Signal chat controversy. Now, before we show you Kimmel's blistering blow-by-blow breakdown of the chain of arrogance experienced and evidenced actually on that chat, and really since, in congressional testimony and numerous public statements, let's get up to speed on the explosive story that should silence, well, any more talk about Hillary's emails.
What?
That's right, Stone Cold. So let's grab a beer, pop one for Pete, and see how we got to today's great video of Jimmy from last night. And boy, as you're about to see in a second, does he hit the nail on the head as to what makes these people the very best and most qualified at their jobs. And you'll see it's not diversity or equity or inclusion. It's something more spot on about these backpedaling, eye-shifting two-steppers who now find themselves caught in a major scandal, not 3 months into their newly appointed jobs.
On staffing, how would you run a government to make it more effective?
But I know nothing about it. You're saying that they had what?
This is a gross error, and it's intentional. They intentionally put highly classified information on an unclassified device. I would have lost my security clearance in the Air Force for this.
What would be your criteria in choosing the senior administrators?
Track record?
To your knowledge, do you know whether Pete Hegseth had been drinking before he leaked classified information?
I don't have any knowledge of Secretary Hegseth's personal habits.
Great competence.
Obviously, that was a mistake, and that shouldn't have happened, and the White House is looking at it, but that none of the information on there at any point threatened the operation or the lives of our servicemen.
Well, this is so embarrassing. It makes America look so weak in the world.
Love of what they're doing.
And then somehow it gets
someone
sucked
sent
in.
You that
it gets
contact.
sucked in.
Was there someone else supposed to be on the chat that wasn't on the chat?
That's what we're trying to figure out.
Okay, but that's a pretty big problem.
That is what, that's what we've got the best technical minds, right?
That's
How they're getting along with people, references.
Yes, Ranking Member. My answer yesterday was based on my recollection or the lack thereof on the details that were posted there.
So it's your testimony that less than 2 weeks ago, you were on a Signal chat that had all of this information about F-18s and MQ-9 Reapers and targets on strike, and you in that 2-week period simply forgot that that was there. That's your testimony?
My testimony is I did not recall the exact details of what was included there.
That was not your testimony. Your testimony was that you were not aware of anything related to weapons packages, targets, and timing.
We have to get the best people.
Well, I noticed this morning, out came something that doesn't look like war plans. And as a matter of fact, they even changed the title to attack plans. You know who sees war plans? I see them every single day. I looked at them this morning.
We need to get the best and the finest, and if we don't, we'll be in trouble for a long period of time.
Well, thank God we have the very best people in place and have nothing at all to worry about. Well, last night, Jimmy Kimmel, you know, the man once called not very funny by America's most humorless president. Well, he took this clown car for a ride right down Hollywood Boulevard, and he kicked their ridiculous, lily-livered explanations to the curb. Here's that.
But these people, they can't just admit they screwed up, even though it's right there in front of our eyes. It's as plain as day. Instead, they defend themselves by taking issue with the term war plans.
There were no sources, methods, locations, or war plans that were shared.
There were no war plans discussed.
We have said all along no war plans were discussed. There were no war plans discussed.
Nobody was texting war plans, and that's all I have to say. Nobody's texting war plans. Nobody's texting war plans. It's not war plans. Nobody's texting war plans, and that's all I have to say.
Okay, so how many times do you have to repeat a lie before it becomes true? I guess we're going to find out. So the reporter then, who was on the chain, published the exchange, the whole exchange. Let's go through it now, and you can decide for yourself if these are war plans or not. Okay, let's see. F-18's launch, target terrorists, strike drones launch, more F-18s launch, first bombs will definitely drop, first sea-based Tomahawks launch. Now, I'm not an expert on war. These don't seem like peace plans to me. The Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, gave the chain a 2-hour heads up with every detail relating to the timing and scope of the attack, the weapons they were using, details that could easily have compromised the mission and endangered the pilots flying it if those texts had been hacked or shared with the wrong people. This operation was about as secretive as a Fortnite Twitch stream, okay? Who could ever have guessed that the host of Weekend Fox and Friends would be bad at running the military? I mean, imagine how lifelong military professionals must feel. This was the 90s. This would be like suddenly having to take orders from Kathy Lee. But they weren't war plans. That's what matters. They were attack plans, which are totally different. So today, The Atlantic wrote, here are the attack plans that Trump's advisors shared on Signal, and the White House press secretary somehow claimed this as a victory. She wrote, The Atlantic has conceded these were not war plans. At this point, they're just screwing with us, right? And thank God we got rid of DEI. Now you can rest assured that the idiots in charge were not chosen for their race or gender. They were chosen purely based on being idiots. And
now, in all fairness, this is no joking matter, and it's incumbent upon us, well, to give Donald Trump's press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, she's been in the eye of this storm all week. Let's give her the final word on this parody of political professionalism. Take it away, Caroline.
President Trump has made it abundantly clear that there was nothing that his administration had to do with those Signal chat screenshots that were fake news reported by The Atlantic, the failing fake news Atlantic, and the liberal media has gone too far. This administration is committed to transparency, and in that transparency, we will let you know that we are reviewing this. However, there are bigger security issues like TikTok, and then there's also the Hillary's emails that we had in the past. She made a tweet joking about it disrespectfully, as if we don't remember Hunter Biden's laptops and Joe Biden being the worst president in human history. And it is actually his fault that these things were even fabricated.